Hey, welcome back. If you followed this build, it's definitely been a while since I've done a video. I've done a lot of work off camera. Sometimes I feel like working, not making a video. Sometimes I feel like doing both. Today I feel like doing both. I've been working on this truck now for around 3 years. I go through phases where I work on it a lot and some where I don't touch it hardly at all. Some of that's time, weather. It's a hobby, so if I don't feel like working on it, I don't do it. Right now, I'm going to have good weather. It's summertime. If anything, it's going to be too hot, but I don't mind the heat. And I'm motivated. So my plan is to knock the rest of this truck out this summer. And I'm going to show you what I've got left to do. But before I do that, I'm going to go over here and look at the truck. I've got plenty of videos on it, but I'm just going to do a quick recap. So if you want to go watch other ones, you can. If you just want to watch this one, that's fine too. So I'm going to switch camera angles and I'll see you over there. So this is my 82 Chevy C10. I've had it since I was 16. This sat at my mom's house for 20 years. I'm glad she didn't get rid of it. I never thought I'd restore it, but yet here we are. The truck is LS swapped with 4.8, 4L60E transmission. I've got a Boyd fuel tank. Rear end is from Curry. Brakes are CPP. Exhaust is Black Widow. I ran it myself and I've just got it dumped off right here. It is bagged. The color theme is blue and black. Dakota digital gauges. I've got a little bit of a sound system in it. Air ride management. All the interior has been redone. Seats original. I just recovered it. Here's the LS swap. Functionally, the truck runs. It'll drive, it'll stop, it'll do everything it needs to do. I just haven't really test drove it because it's not complete yet. I'll probably end up doing slosh tubs at some point. For now, I'm just going to run it like it is. It's not, even though I put a lot of effort into it, I don't really consider it a show truck. I just wanted it clean and nice, and then I plan on driving it. I went with air struts instead of hinges. It limits how high it opens, but I built a prop rod for it so I can just pop those off and prop it up all the way if I need to. And then it's an 82, so I put it back like an 82. I went with a more modern headlight that has halos. The halo color is amber, which is street legal, so I didn't go with blue or anything, even though it would have fit the truck better, because I don't want a ticket. I've got to get my side markers in. They're smoke color, so it'll kind of go with the blue and black theme. If I end up not liking it, I'll just go back with a regular color. US mag wheels. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, the truck is ready. I just have been procrastinating on finishing up this bed. This is the last thing I've really got to do. This truck was a factory diesel, so it has 2 gas doors. I am going to delete at least one of them, if not both of them. And then I have a ginormous hole here. Since I'm not really building a hot rod, I don't need the weight reduction, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. I need to take the air ride system back out just so when I'm painting and stuff, it's not getting covered in paint. And then the bed will get bed linered before I put it all back in. This side is not bad at all. It just needs to be cleaned up and body worked. I may cut this part out, or I may just shut it down and put some filler over it. I really don't know. If I leave a door, it'll be this door, but I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of both doors because I really don't have a need for them. Another thing I've been thinking about doing is deleting these as well. It had bed rails on it, so I've got a bunch of little holes to fix, but I thought it'd be nice to fill these in and smooth them over, and then there just won't be anything else on this bed that's really left to get rid of. Yeah, that's where we are. So today, I'm going to start right here. I've got a piece that I'm going to use to try to get that restored. And then once I'm done with that, I'll move on to this gas door and then decide on the other gas door. And then it'll be time to prime it and start body working it. I'm not going to get too carried away with the body work. But once that's done and it's painted, I'll drop it back on the truck. And then it'll be time to get insurance and tags and see how well this thing does being LS swapped. So stick around. The rest of this video is going to be me working on this rust spot. All right, so here's what we got. Pretty much need to replace, I've got a piece that'll replace this whole thing, but I don't want to cut all this off because then I got to worry about getting it lined up this way. And so I think what I'm going to do is take it off right here and then maybe come down and leave this and just replace this. And that way I'll be able to reference it back. I do have a little bit of a dent right here, so whenever I get this cut off, I'll try to straighten this up. And then when I weld it back together, hopefully that dent will be gone. And then what's left of it, I can work it in with some filler. I don't like to use a whole lot of filler, but just enough to kind of cover up my welds. I usually try to grind everything pretty smooth, but I don't want to spend a lot of time making it perfect when I can just do a little skimmer of filler and sand it down. And so that's what we're going to work on. I'm going to get this drawn out where I want to cut it and start cutting it. All right, now we'll cut this out and then lay it over our patch panel and then cut this out, and then we'll start getting it fitted to this spot here. Now we'll trace this out on our patch panel. That'd be ready to tack it back in. So we've got this traced out onto this panel. And I'm gonna cut it out just like I did the original. And then we'll start trying to fit it up to where we cut that piece out. And it'll take a couple tries of lining it up, cut, line it up, cut, but eventually we'll get it there and then we'll start tacking it in. All right, now we're gonna work on trying to fit this in. Spot right here, I'm gonna have to weld it up and then kind of roll it back around and get it as close as I can, because it wasn't wide enough to line up on its own. All right, so I've got this piece cut in. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I had a couple spots burned through, a couple spots where I ended up getting it a little too wide. So what I did was I cut this piece a little long, just a little, and I tacked it here, and then I started working it with the curve, knowing that as I did that, it would push the piece this way, basically. And so what I was hoping was to overlap and then do a 45-degree angle cut down this seam, and then those two pieces should have lined up perfectly. And it worked for the most part, but I had a couple spots where I didn't have as much original material hanging over, so when I cut, I got offline just a little bit, and that's how I ended up with these gaps. I can weld it. It'll take a little longer than it would have otherwise. But what I'm gonna do now is use this, use my grinder and just take these welds down. I'm gonna take all these welds down before I start tacking more spots. And I like doing that so that when I'm taking my weld down, I'm doing it a little at a time and not trying to do the whole weld. So I'll just basically grind these away and then go back through and do some more tacking, and then grind those away and then tack what's left, and then grind those away, and then I'll sand it and get it ready for some filler. All right, so finished up the welding, did a little sanding. I really needed to try to knock this seam out, but the way this bed's designed, I cannot get to the back of it with a body hammer or a dolly. And so what I did, and I didn't do this on video, is I took my stud welder and I ran it along that seam, and then I pounded that seam out a little bit. And I feel like once I put a little bit of filler in there, it won't take a whole lot. It won't be a crazy amount of filler, but it'll be just enough to flush that out. I prefer not to do that. I'd rather body work it, but I just can't get to it. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I'll have to do a little bit of body working with it. Anytime you got a body line, it's hard. My only real saving grace with this is I run the trim, and so a lot of this is going to get hidden behind the trim. But either way, it's metal, and it'll have just a little bit of filler to smooth it out. And then I have no problem with this right here. There's some low spots. Again, I'm going to run some filler on that, so that'll get taken care of. But that sure beats that. So I'm pretty happy with it. My next thing is going to be doing this door, and I'll probably do that tomorrow. All right, if you've been following this build or if you're new to it, thanks for watching.